Joining me on the line as he does every Friday on the show, except for last Friday because I was off because of a new little baby boy. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Reyes from CinemaBlend.com is on the line, and we're here to talk about movies this week. Mike, what do you got?
Before we do, I just want to say congratulations on the little one. And
Thank you.
Good to have you back.
Oh, thank you. You won't tell me what I want to know, but you'll congratulate me on that.
Yeah, because, I'm really good with upholding secrecy, and we're not going to talk about that here. We're talking about other movies. Movies that are coming out this week. Even though I will say off the bat, I missed Uncharted last week. I've heard mixed reviews. I'm still interested in seeing it because some of the people I work with have been pretty high on it, but I don't know.
I never played the video game, so I just look at this movie, I'm like, eh. And it's hard for me. Tom Holland, I know he's an older, he's in his 20s, isn't he?
I think so. I think he's just turned like 20 recently.
He just looks so young.
Oh, Mr. Stark, I'm going to get the treasure of the Sierra Madre. Oh, no.
Yeah. So he's 25, actually.
I do like Tom Holland. It's just, he's in an interesting point in his career where if he plays the hits, it's obviously like, I want to see you do more. But then when he tries to do something more like Cherry, it's like, this isn't it, buddy.
Yeah. So, no, he's 25, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, he's older than, I knew he was in his 20s, but he looks so young. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Mike Reyes from CinemaBlend.com joining me on the line. All right, so the big movie for us this week is this Foo Fighters movie.
Yeah, it is relatively thin, but we've got pretty interesting movies this weekend, and one more from last I'm going to mention after this.
Okay.
But the Foo Fighters movie you're talking about is Studio 666. And every time I say that, I just hear Jack Black's voice in my head because of the one track on Tenacious D, like the first album. They do the count off in the beginning, and it's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 6. And just that's what I hear in my head when I say that.
Oh, that's funny.
That is the sort of attitude you need to bring into Studio 666 because by no stretch of the imagination is it a totally serious horror movie. This is the Foo Fighters goofing around with a horror vehicle where, they're trying to come up with their 10th album. Their manager's like all pressuring them for content. And then they're like, oh, we could just set you up in this house and you guys could record the album there. And naturally, Dave Grohl starts to see things. There may be a book made of human flesh and an audio tape he shouldn't have listened to. It's kind of like an Evil Dead sort of thing, but in the Hollywood Hills with the Foo Fighters. And John Carpenter having a cameo as well.
Oh, that's awesome. So it's good then.
It's good. It's a lot of fun. I was talking about this with a friend of mine who I was at a screening this week, and a friend of mine in the horror community saw it, and he was disappointed by it. He's like, you don't really get any different characters here. It's just the Foo Fighters playing the Foo Fighters. And to that respect, if that's all you want, just the Foo Fighters playing loosely fictional versions of themselves and getting a lot of blood and guts and horror jokes, then yeah, go for it.
It seems like almost a Foo Fight. It's like if you drop the Foo Fighters into an adult Scooby-Doo world.
Kind of, yeah. It's just a good hang.
Okay.
Like there's blood, there's jokes. Dave Grohl gets to be and he plays a pretty funny one.
Oh, that's
and just watching him get slightly unhinged is even more fantastic.
Dave Grohl is so cool. Mike Reyes from CinemaBlend.com joining me on the line to talk about movies. Okay, so Foo Fighters is good for, if you want to go see the Foo Fighters in a crazy movie. What was the other movie we had? Not an Exit or not an, what is it?
No Exit.
No Exit.
Which is on Hulu this weekend. I highly recommend it. The whole story, basically elevator pitch, young girl breaks out of rehab to go see her dying mother. And because of a snowstorm, she has to hole up in a visitor center where 4 strangers and a potentially deadly secret unfold.
And this is a remake?
No, it is an adaptation of Taylor Adams' book of the same name.
Okay.
And it is fantastic. This thing, go in as cold as you possibly can. It is a little over an hour and a half, and it does not let up. It's just from start to finish. This thing rides.
All right. No Exit out on Hulu this weekend. If you can, give it a watch. Mike Reyes from CinemaBlend.com joining me on the line. What was the other movie you wanted to mention real quick?
Dog, the Channing Tatum movie.
Oh, yeah.
It was actually cute. It was very cute. It's very mixed, though, because it doesn't know whether it wants to be a movie for the family or a movie for adults, but not like a rated R movie for adults.
Okay.
You've got this sort of mishmash of, the basic story is Channing Tatum is escorting a dog a military dog to the funeral of her human handler. And, they get into some wacky hijinks along the way. And, one moment he's contemplating killing Kevin Nash with an axe because he thinks he's a threat. But then like 2 seconds later, like, whoa, I was fronting, man. I'm only kidding. And then there's like a joke about like tantric sex that goes a little far, but it doesn't go far because, it's a PG-13.
Okay.
But it's like, okay, why would you mix that into this movie? And at the same time, it is a very serious look at, soldiers having PTSD and even the animals that serve with them having PTSD.
I gotcha.
And minor notes aside, like this is Channing Tatum's first movie as a director. He co-directs this with Reed Carolyn, one of the people who wrote the movies.
Oh, really?
I think it's a rather natural fit for him, and I think even his performance is quite good in here. You get the charm, but you also get some dramatic weight. So, yeah, Dog surprised the hell out of me, and I rather loved it.
And that's Kevin Nash from the wrestling world.
That's the only Kevin Nash I can think of.
Yeah, that was...
At least the only Kevin Nash I can think of that's built like that.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was like, is he talking about the wrestler Kevin Nash? Anyways, all right, so that's cool. Hey, real quick, Channing Tatum, yay or nay?
Yay.
What
context are they talking?
I oddly like him a lot.
He just is, again, he's really charming. He's a lot of fun. Like, even just showing up in This Is the End for like that small cameo where he is never afraid to put it all out there. And he's like, I love him.
Yeah, no, that's
like Danny McBride's gimp.
He seems like a dude that gets the whole thing of I can make fun of myself.
Yeah, but at the same time, he does know how to work with someone like Steven Soderbergh on a movie like Side Effect or Magic Mike, where on one hand, you're getting like a very risque, over-the-top sort of thing, but with Side Effects, that was like a mystery thriller. He works in both.
Quick, I really want to see Lost City. What's that?
Oh, I want to see Lost City. I want to see the Lost City too.
That him and then Brad Pitt showing up and all this. I'm like, wow, that is. It actually made me think. Imagine a movie where you have Brad Pitt and his son Channing Tatum.
Put it on a poster. That's that. I'm done.
I don't know what it would be about if you could do. I don't know if it'd be a good rom-com. Oh, okay. Here's my pitch. Channing Tatum is the kid that he's bringing his girlfriend over to meet his dad and stay there for the weekend. The girl she shows up and doesn't realize that the dad is someone she used to date.
Oh, I want that.
And they're trying to hide it from Channing Tatum.
So something fun that I just found out about Kevin Nash that I didn't know real quick.
He was in The Punisher?
He was Super Shredder in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Use.
Yeah, he was. Mike Reyes from CinemaBlend.com joining me on the line. Over in the world of movie news, I did think it was funny that some of the Spider-Man No Way Home stuff is coming out, and they actually did the 3 Spider-Mans pointing at each other poster or a picture.
I am not surprised they did it. I don't think anything really surprises me about that because, of course, they're not going to release that when the movie was, like, still in theaters.
Yeah.
Like, this is their big home video push because we're... I think they announced that next month it's going to be on digital, and April it's going to be on home video.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, this was obviously like a big, hey, we're going to save this for the special features thing. And now that it exists, I wish they would have kind of fully committed to the reality though, and had like the police car and the back and like the backdrop and everything. Like the way it is now, it's like, oh, cool. You guys went to the Sears photo studio and took pictures online. That's cool.
Otherwise, what else happened in movie news this week?
I'm trying to think.
There didn't seem like a ton, right? I
mean, adjacent to movies, Disney did their first preview of the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser today. I think it was yesterday.
I saw something about it, but I don't know exactly what it is. What is it?
So the Galactic Star Cruiser is basically Disney's. It's exactly what it says. It's supposed to be like a cruise vacation, but you're in a stationary hotel on Disney property. And you're basically cosplaying through Star Wars.
That's sort of awesome. I saw some pictures pop up, but I didn't look at it just yet. The pictures are
Well,
fantastic.
the pictures kind of look cool, but some fans were canceling their pre-orders after they released a video, which apparently didn't look that good. But our theme park guy, who actually went to the event, said that it's kind of hard to sell a ride, to sell an experience like this.
Yeah.
Especially when they haven't even previewed the whole thing yet.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, so that's in the world of Star Wars. What else we got?
Star Trek 4 is apparently happening, and the announcement was so secret, Chris, the Star Trek crew, didn't know that it was happening.
Yeah, I saw that, and I don't know how I feel about that. I'm kind of at the point that I'm done with those movies. If they were going to do a fourth one, it should have happened years ago.
Keep in mind, the original concept for the fourth one was supposed to be Kirk and his father meeting through time travel.
Yeah.
And now that, I'm assuming that's off the table because the reason Star Trek 4 was ground to a halt in the first place was because of pay negotiations.
Yeah.
For Hemsworth and for Pine. And then there's just there's all those wilderness years where like they changed directors. They had Noah Hawley from the series Fargo writing a treatment. They had a Quentin Tarantino movie they almost made. And it's been almost a decade, if I remember correctly. Let me just double check. We're almost 7 years out from like almost 6-7 years out from when that movie came out. And there's the TV space is clearly treating the franchise better.
I would be interested if they actually, I don't know what I want to say here because I'm thinking about it and I'm like the movie, like Beyond, I legitimately liked. I went into it wanting to hate it, but I ended up really liking it. But I'm not crazy about Discovery, but I think they did some. I'm interested to see what Strange New Worlds is going to be like. I'm interested in what the Picard series will be like. So I don't know I honestly don't know what the best way to go about it is. The Quentin Tarantino movie, though, I wanted to see.
I really wanted to see that too because the rumor was it was going to be his riff on like City on the Edge of Forever or a piece of the action, like one of the Earth-based gangster movies.
Yeah.
A gangster story.
And I'm fine with that. I was thinking about that the other day. Just seeing a movie set in the Star Trek world, but not based on like Starfleet or something would be kind of interesting.
Yeah. No, that really would be nice. It's like just the atypical Star Trek, like just do something that's not flying around in a ship and the greater good and all, like we were talking about with, what was it, Section 31?
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Like that's one of those ideas.
God, do I want a Section 30? But I don't want it to be like, I want it to be like a real like spy movie just set in the Star Trek world.
I would love that. Just like that's something I want to see in the Star Wars movie. Like I want to see a spy story set in on Coruscant. I want to see a fighter pilot movie, and I'm still afraid of what Rogue Squadron's going to do after Patty Jenkins did what she did on Wonder Woman 1984. And then I would love to see a detective story in Star Wars.
Yeah, this is going to sound kind of dark, but you know what story would be kind of interesting? It'd be a hard sell to the Star Trek world, though.
That just makes you want to see it even more.
The Cardassian occupation of Bajor and the Resistance fighting.
Ooh.
Because they Yeah. That
would especially be good because Deep Space Nine never got its share of movies.
No, and it should have. It absolutely It should have. So
you mean to tell me you couldn't have done a Dominion War movie that also adapted the books that crossed over Next Generation's crew?
There's that. Or just like have them be a part of it.
Or a Q movie where Q screws around with Cisco and all them.
See, that's always the joke about Q is Cisco punched Q in the face one time and he never came back.
I believe it.
But no, I just going back to how this all kind of started. Star Trek 4 doesn't interest me. I don't. It's not it's not that I hate the crew or the cast that they have, but I'm not in love with Abrams' version of the Enterprise, especially after seeing on Discovery when they redid the Enterprise, where it looks. God, it's beautiful. It really is. Seeing some of that stuff, it's like I'd rather see more about that world and that Christopher Pine than this one. It's like I feel like you've run your course, I think is the easy way to say it, right?
That's the easy way to say what you're thinking there, and I would love for them to maybe at least do one more that closes it off properly. But I don't know. I mean, I really do like that crew, and I have been a fan of the Kelvin Timeline movies, and especially after Beyond, I was a fan of the Kelvin Timeline movies because I think that's the best one.
Oh, by far. The first one and the third one are good. It's God, do I hate that Khan movie.
I'm okay with. I like Into Darkness, but I'm not in love with it like Beyond. Like Beyond seriously was like, okay, we're still using the Abrams ship and the Abrams crew, but we're out of that story shadow. We can do something else.
I did like that it was different. I did like that. But anyways, I'm sure people love talking or listen to us talk about Star Trek here.
Especially, yeah, and you know what? Well, it's either that or we talk about the classical music known as the Beastie Boys.
All right, friends, that's going to do it for us this week. This is, I was joined by Mike Reyes from CinemaBlend.com. You can find out more about him. At Mr. Controversy 83, we'll have all the links at the bottom of the page. Mike, you have yourself a good weekend.
You too, my friend, and folks, you're going to want to tune into us next week because we're finally going to talk the Batman.
Yeah, maybe I'll get my goddamn answers from you.
I don't know what you're talking about, and you're still not getting any. I have nothing to answer. I have no answers.
There you go. All right, Mike, you have a good one.
You too.